Alrighty, guys, welcome back. It's your boy EQ. And up next, we have DJ Akademiks claiming Ebro and the rest of the media are framing Drake fans as outside of hip hop culture, saying they criticize Drake for clout because Kendrick Lamar doesn't generate clicks. I saw this headline and I had to quickly debunk it. I've said it before and I'll say it again. You have to give people the ammunition to use against you if you're going to want the point to have any type of validity. The countless L's Drake has amassed this past year and a half wasn't done because he had the blicky to his head. Honestly, he went out of his way to act as un-hip-hop as possible. And let's not forget, the dude still has an open lawsuit because he's crying about losing a beef, carrying behavior to the max. You can't keep saying you're scared and still keep throwing shots, man. But hey, the dude hasn't really moved the best this past year. The cult of the OVHOites aren't a group known to, rely on facts. Actually, quite the opposite, spinning narratives and moving goalposts that even Messi would be proud of. So they've definitely brought this beef onto themselves. And yeah, they can't do this to Kendrick Lamar because Kendrick doesn't give them the opportunity to do so. The media can only report on what you give them. Anything else is just speculation. The only time we honestly ever hear of Kendrick is through music, rare interviews, and that stage that he's killing show in and show out. And to say he doesn't generate similar viewership when he's been outperforming Drake in basically every metric is definitely crazy work from numbers. I mean, just look at the charts this past year, to accolades, to being on the cusp of yet again breaking the highest grossing rap tour record. Sorry to break it to you, man, but it's time to cook you again for this super erroneous take. So enough dilly-dallying, let's jump right into this video where we have DJ Akademiks claiming that Ebro and the rest of the media are framing Drake as outside of hip-hop culture, saying that they criticize Drake for clout because Kendrick Lamar doesn't generate clicks. And Akademiks seems to have given up on being logical and coherent. This is coming from the guy that has been the most biased. So yeah, man, he's sounding a little hypocritical.
Where these artists do rely on Spotify and Apple Music, he needs to be neutral and impartial. He needs to remove his personal feelings out of things.
I get what you're trying to say, fam, but at the end of the day, if you're speaking on your own private platform, you have a right to your opinion. And it's kind of hard to accept this take from Akademiks when he himself has said the most egregious things about Kendrick Lamar and a plethora of other people. At the end of the day, fam, you probably have a bigger voice in media right now than Ebro.
And he needs to do his fucking job. It's Spotify's playlist, not Carl Cherry's playlist. He understands that. The thing with Ebro is that Ebro believes that because they've empowered him as the global head of hip-hop, it's his show. So it's not Apple Music.
Well, technically, he runs the show, especially given that title. But it's not like there isn't a staff there to help out with stuff like this, you know?
Music's view of hip-hop. It's his view of hip-hop. And I've always thought that's just
on his
very
platform.
Wrong for a company of that size and magnitude in the music game to be thinking like that. So basically, what am I saying? If Ebro don't like you as a musician, you're fucked. He's not platforming your music. He's not going to put your...
Well, isn't that the nature of all business? At the end of the day, it is all about relationships and your network. You want to go and burn bridges, and that's on you, but it's going to be really tough to move around without those relationships. Not just hip-hop, bro. And like I said in the intro, you have to give the people the ammunition if they're going to want to be able to use this type of stuff against you.
Musical cross. If he doesn't respect you, he's not going to... He's personally using this to push what he likes. And Apple Music is supporting this.
I can't really roll with you there either, because at the end of the day, there's always been industry plants. These companies can push an artist as much as they want, but if the public isn't being receptive to it, it's only going to go so far before they just pull the plug. This guy's making it seem like supporting Kendrick Lamar and promoting his music is almost like a favor to him when the guy's been a premier artist, not just rapper, for over 10 years now.
Now, during the battle,
like 15,
Kendrick and Drake, Ebro referred to Drake as a cancer. You referred to him as a cancer.
Fam, the stuff that you have referred to Kendrick Lamar as has been way more egregious than being called a cancer. I'll say that.
Okay? He says he's a sickness. Listen to this.
He's a
not
sickness.
that important. Kendrick, the reason Drake's in this is because he is a sickness in the game.
Now, remember what I just said about the global head of hip-hop? If the global head of hip-hop at pretty much the biggest DSP, we don't know their full numbers, but it's Apple, my nigga. Apple Music, the guy who runs and directs where hip-hop, how it's seen, how it will be promoted on the platform.
Fam, he's basically had this same title, Hot 97. He has had power for a very long time.
How it will live. If that person thinks What the fans are saying is the biggest rapper, Drake, is a sickness to hip hop. What do you think that manifests to? I don't want to answer that question. That might be above my pay grade, but you guys could surely.
Honestly, I feel like most fans aren't even listening to what Ebro is saying. I think Ebro has kept this same energy about Drake for a long time.
Speculate. When the person that they have given global head of hip hop is saying that this guy's a sickness to hip hop, what do you think his powers is? What do you think he could do? I don't want to speculate.
He can keep you off the playlist, but again, it's Drake. I don't think that's going to be the case, at least for now. Even over on Spotify, a company that he had a lot of smoke for, obviously that case was dropped, but the dude is still on big playlists like Rap Caviar and towards the top. So I don't know what point Ak is trying to prove. It's just that the people aren't receptive to the music anymore. We just saw What Did I Miss go from number 2 to number 8 to number 23 in 3 weeks. At a certain point, you got to stop blaming everyone else and start looking at what you've done in the industry that makes you think that people are trying to ice you out. Pardon the pun.
His opinions and his, complete unilateral support for anyone who's going against Drake, i.e. Kendrick, has been pronounced. He's not ashamed to say it. And people haven't really taken him to task. Not necessarily that he can't have an opinion, is that he's doing this while he's in this position. If he wasn't in this position, nobody would care.
Bam, do we think the heads of these labels don't have their own opinion on these artists? Obviously, they're not going around and saying it publicly, but they all do. And to think that's not going to influence their decision making, again, would be supremely erroneous to think otherwise.
Because his voice isn't that loud. However, the position that he has is that important. I've said previously when he tried to take me to task, I don't want to go back and forth with somebody who has that much power in the game. We've had words here or there. We did run into each other at Barclays, and the conversation was,
Ebro's going to keep it
like,
professional,
what up, nigga?
guys. Come on.
What up? We're media personalities. Nobody, I'm not slapping nobody. He ain't doing nothing. I don't know if he might say that to the public because a lot of these guys act like.
Bro, you say that to the public literally every other week. There's a crash out every other week where you're trying to incite violence on somebody. And the internet is forever, guys. We have the clips to prove it.
They're tough guys. And they usually say, oh, we'll never see you. Well, we saw each other. I said, what up? He said, what up? He walked past. That's it.
Guy has been a professional in the music industry for what, 30 plus years now at this point. Ebro has been around and he's going to keep it professional. And the type of things that Akademiks is inferring that Ebro should be doing is something that's obviously going to take away his title over at Apple.
Cool. Now, this idea that he doesn't like Drake or, he has this particular view of what that entails. It culminated, and let me see if I can find it. Ebro, I think he has some opinions about Drake, and let me see if I could find what these.
Damn, you have crazy opinions about Kendrick Lamar, SZA, Megan Thee Stallion, literally like 80% of the music industry. So for you to cry foul of anything, super hypocritical.
Opinions were, and Bass actually spoke out about it. This was his.
I'm not even talking about certain people. I'm talking about Drake. I'm not talking about people who are fans. I'm talking about studied craftsmen who are great at contributing and understand what this hip hop shit has been since its
conception.
Yes. Like, I'm not just talking about rando fans on the internet.
I think the Uber Eats order came in, or he's trying to get some of that Henny.
Bro, listen, a lot of these fans and a lot of people on the internet, y'all don't even love hip hop like that. You're just fans of an individual.
That's true. There's a lot of casuals that think just because they have a Twitter account or X account that their opinion holds any type of water. At the end of the day, yeah, we all have a right to it, but doesn't necessarily make it right. Honestly, most of them are wrong. But nothing Ebro is saying is out of pocket. It's just his take on the environment. And it is funny that Boz is choosing to speak up now, a full year later after it's all happened. I feel like most people waited for the smoke to die down.
We are
as if the corpse isn't still on fire.
Having hip-hop conversation about something that has literally saved our lives, put food on people's plate.
I want to cut this off. And I know I interrupt a lot when I'm, speaking about any topic, but I do want to.
He was so stressed out he had to go grab a Coke.
Pointing this out because there's a growing discussion and nobody's talking about it. There's a push by a lot of old heads, antiquated media, and irrelevant niggas who claim they're media to try to equate Drake fans as non-hip hop fans.
The thing about a lot of those fans is that most of those fans are fans of Drake the pop star,
Let me just say this again.
not technically the rapper.
There is a push by a lot of old heads, irrelevant niggas, bums, and wannabe actually influential voices
If he was irrelevant, why would you be taking shots at the guy?
that would want to say Drake fans aren't fans of the culture or music of
Obviously
hop.
not.
They're just fans of Drake.
I mean, they defend the actions of probably the biggest hip hop Karen of all time. And it doesn't get much more un-hip hop than suing over a lost beef, no matter how you want to frame it.
Now, I don't know why they start and stop with Drake, because what happens is they'll admit that Drake and what he does at certain times, whether it's a timestamp record or whatever, or when he gets in his rapping bag, he's absolutely an MC.
Well, the thing is, it's not like he doesn't use rap as a medium. Yeah, we all know that. But at the end of the day, I can be a painter that uses acrylics and watercolor and one day decide to use oil painting. Doesn't necessarily make me an oil painter.
And yes, some of his work does influence what they believe is the culture or conversation around MCing and this and third.
It's pillars of
But
hip-hop.
they usually dismiss the large fan base that Drake has, because they're saying those people, they don't have a they don't have any type of care about the culture or the music. They only care about Drake. Now, the reason why I said I don't know.
A lot of the cult of the Ovihoites, I mean, we see it every day. They will try to muster up any way to spin the narrative and move the goalposts by justifying the most un-hip-hop of things. How could you care about the culture when everything you say is a slap in the face of the culture?
Why they started to stop with Drake, because here's the thing. I wouldn't say Travis Scott fans aren't fans of hip-hop. The thing is, the problem with people like Ebro, for you to be a fan of hip-hop, you have to be a fan of these antiquated people. Or
Not
people
necessarily.
of these
Again, you could be a fan of whoever you please.
super puristic, like, wait, you don't like an Alchemist beat? You don't like hip-hop? Wait, you don't know a Pharoah Monch album? You don't like hip-hop? You don't know this Talib Kweli? No. They create this idea of what hip-hop is. It's a snobby way to dismiss folks. It's a snobby way to dismiss folks.
We've done a lot of that as well. So yeah, while I do agree, you don't necessarily have to be a fan of any particular subgenre of hip-hop. At the end of the day, you do the same thing, but you do it in favor of Drake. Of course, you don't necessarily have to be a super fan of MF Doom or listen to exclusively J Dilla beats, but at the end of the day, you're getting at Ebro for a much more tame version of what you do on a nightly basis.
Here's my thing. The hip-hop that they care about, fans of Future don't give a fuck about, but they wouldn't
That's
ever
true.
say that.
Well, we can't make a blanket statement like that because there definitely is crossover. I can listen to Future, and then I can also go and listen to Tribe. But yeah, there can definitely be overlap, but you can't ignore the fact that, yeah, a lot of Drake fans, they don't really respect the culture, especially with the actions that they continuously defend.
Future's fans is niggas. They wouldn't ever say this to Young Thug, because most niggas who like and listen to Young Thug don't know half of the shit they're talking about. They stick only with Drake. Why? Drake is biracial. Drake has a large fan base
So is J. Cole, fam.
that also involves R&B people or R&B fans, women, non-black or non-ethnic people, and they
One of Kendrick Lamar's biggest collaborators is SZA, an R&B artist. Hip-hop and R&B has gone hand in hand since the beginning of hip-hop. How many Mary J. Blige rap features have we gotten? How many Ashanti and Ja Rule records have we listened to? This guy doesn't really think his points through.
try to sum up the entire fan base to say Drake fans aren't hip-hop fans. This has to be dealt with and discussed because it couldn't be further from the truth. This is a way they ignore and avoid conversations. They avoid being wrong on multiple aspects because they don't want to
If it ain't the pot calling the kettle black.
talk about, they're going to be like, oh, it's just Drake fans. Drake fans aren't fans of hip-hop. How not?
I wouldn't say that there are no Drake fans that like hip-hop. But again, if we open up any Drake subreddit or look at any Drake video or just Kendrick Lamar videos and the Cult of the Ovihoite members that go on and comment on there, you can see that they don't really respect the culture. Most of them.
I went to a Kendrick concert. I showed y'all the crowd. There's a bunch of people in there that just wanted to hear Luther or wanted to hear some mainstream record or maybe just not like us. They're not a fan of. But every artist, once you get so big, part of a segment of your population
Casuals.
or audience only fucks with you in terms of the genre, but the majority, if you came up through rap, fuck with you and the genre. The mere fact that people like
Yeah, but Drake has definitely gone pop. And I'm definitely not going to let you roll with the narrative that people only got up for those few records. I was there at the LA show, and honestly, I don't think anyone actually sat down for more than 5 minutes, and that was just during like a set change or something. And from the countless amounts of footage from these international shows, I can say the very same things about those shows. The energy has been crazy from beginning to end. And I know it looked like he was playing hide and seek in that suite, but yeah, man, I don't think you were watching the same concert.
Ebro would like to oust only Drake. It's only Drake they say it about. Oh, Drake's fans aren't hip hop. They don't like hip hop. They only like Drake. Sounds like you don't want to have the conversation, but I'll rewind
Well, isn't that what he's doing right now, having the conversation?
a little bit and let it play.
Like, I'm not just talking about rando fans on the internet, bro. Listen, a lot of these fans and a lot of people on
Oh, look at that. I thought he was just drinking the Coke, but there's definitely Henny in that Coke.
the internet, y'all don't even love hip hop like that. You're just fans of an individual. We are having hip hop conversation about something that has literally saved our lives, put food on people's plates, and is a culture that has been an inclusive culture of all different types of ideas and music and expression and all of these things. I'm not even talking about certain people. I'm talking about Drake. I'm not talking about people who are fans. I'm talking.
And obviously, there's going to be people that try to argue that Drake is also inclusive. A lot of it does seem super transactional. As soon as those people are useless to him, he usually discards of them. I mean, there's literally a graveyard of rappers that Drake piggybacked off their vibe and wave.
Right. Then there's another clip.
For fucking 50 years, man, or plus. Right. Like, we're talking about something that we love and care about. I'm not just talking about comments and fans and fucking trolls and all this other bots and all this other stupid ass shit. And even during the whole rollout. Yeah. And I hate going back to the beef, but guess who keeps bringing the fucking beef
Drake?
up? Who said we wasn't going to be talking about this summer.
Yeah, man, his rollout for Iceman literally had a plethora of references to the beef.
So we're not supposed to bring that up either?
That's another thing I don't like about these guys. The DJ heads of the world, the Elliot Wilsons of the world, and Elliot, I don't have a problem with you, by the way, the Ebros of the world. Last year, y'all told us Drake was a cancer and a sickness, and y'all were happy that someone else won, and someone else was the new king of hip-hop. Yet y'all can't stop talking about the loser's moves.
At the end of the day, it's still news. I think this guy expects everyone to just ignore the crash out as if the dude isn't a name anymore. And if Drake is going to go out and call out Kendrick Lamar, subliminally anyway, call out people like LeBron James, I think that that's not going to make the news. Does Act not understand that maybe people are bringing this up because Drake is still bringing up this beef, is still trying to throw shots at Kendrick?
The fuck if Drake wants to keep focus on it. Y'all said he's irrelevant. Y'all said his reign is over. It seems like...
Dude, obviously the dude is not irrelevant. I feel like that's a common point a lot of the cult of the OVHOites try to use, try to discredit people talking about the whole situation. His stock has obviously suffered a massive, massive hit. His reputation is obviously tarnished, mostly due to his own doing. Just that he's turned into rap's biggest crash out at this point.
Y'all are on his dick. Because here's the thing. Go focus on whatever the fuck Kendrick got going on. Or go focus on this Raekwon or Ray Sean or Ray Lawn beef. Go do that. But y'all don't. Y'all said the nigga got killed. Y'all said he lost the battle. Then y'all are obsessed with him. So it's like he won the battle.
Not at all. And the charts would beg to differ. You can't throw shots and expect for shots to not be returned.
All right, the so-called loser. Yes, he's sulking. Let him sulk. Why don't you focus on the winner? The reality is this. The reason why Drake can't lose not the battle, but the war, is because y'all niggas in hip-hop media have nothing else to talk about unless Drake give you a duck lip photo to criticize, give you a canceled tour or cancel.
I would literally cover just a Kendrick Lamar and says the tour stop, and the video would do monster numbers. And again, act very hypocritical with the way you run your pages and your platforms. Because if Kendrick Lamar just blinks, you're going to have your page post some egregious caption to go with it.
So couple of days that y'all could say he's flopping, drop a new song that you could say is whack or hot, or does something that you think is goofy and you're going to comment on. You live on Drake.
I don't think he realizes how the media works. The media just doesn't cover something because they like it. If not, we probably wouldn't have 60 to 70% of the stories, and people love to see a train wreck.
The idea of everything y'all have said, why do you give a fuck? If you say he's a sickness to hip hop, why do you give a fuck about what he does? Let me tell you this, you never get to #1 in entertainment without your haters being your biggest supporters. These niggas claim Drake lost, but care so much about what he does. Who have you heard
The same thing could be said about him and Kendrick, though.
say this the most? Why are you so focused on him? I don't see his fans saying that. His fans want more music. The people who like
If his fans wanted the music, it wouldn't be charting the way it has been. It would probably have a little more staying power.
him ain't complaining. It's the people who claim they don't like him or claim he's a cancer.
But yeah, guys, I've definitely had enough of this. Guy's probably the biggest contradiction in hip hop. Academics will go nightly spewing the most egregiously wrong takes with no facts to stand on, but then he'll get mad for somebody else using their own private platform to speak on their opinions. Man, total hypocrisy. At the end of the day, as a media source, it's your job to report on the news, whether you like it or not. I'm one that's not going to let bullshit, erroneous claims go unchecked, especially when they're so laughably wrong. Ebro has been a power player for like 30 years now, so I don't see why Ak has a problem with him voicing his opinion now. It's not like the dude couldn't have done similar things before. It's still the music business, and people are going to consume what they want to consume. You can put all the money in the world into these artists, and that doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to catch fire or that people are going to even care about them. It's crazy when before the cult of the OVOites were claiming that Kendrick Lamar was only getting attention because he was dissing Drake, as if he wasn't already one of the bigger artists out. But now in reality, it seems like it's quite the opposite. And Drake has been using Kendrick Lamar in the beef to try to reignite something for the rollout, trying to gain sympathy by crying about it on stage, saying he's not a snake when he has allegedly done some pretty snaky things. So I don't care how much Henny you drink to try to cope with all this act. At the end of the day, your idol, man, fucked up. And honestly, the culture has spoken. The guy's canceling shows left and right. Songs are fading off the charts as quickly as they came on, and that trend doesn't look like it's changing anytime soon. No one said that the dude was just going to stop streaming or that no one was going to come out to the shows, but we all recognize the fact public perception has definitely changed, and who knows if it'll ever go back to where it once was. I honestly don't think it'll ever be the case, but definitely let me know what you guys think. Do you think Ebro and the media are trying to frame Drake fans as not being of the culture, as being un-hip-hop? I think when you defend half the stuff that Drake has done, it shows that you don't really give a fuck about the culture. And honestly, like I said before, guys, you can't use reason to convince somebody that didn't use reason to get to their position anyway. Akademiks is getting mad at Ebro for the very things he does even more egregiously on a daily basis. So yeah, man, Akademiks, you swung and missed yet again. Definitely let me know what you guys think. Definitely hit the like and subscribe button, guys. It does the channel wonders. I really want to thank you guys again for making this channel a part of your day, and all the love and support that you guys continue to show this channel on a daily is overwhelming and probably the biggest reason why I make these videos. So I really want to let you guys know how grateful I am for all of it. Definitely a big shout out to all those that have been joining YouTube memberships, and a very big super thank you to all those that have been sending super thanks. Again, I want to thank Renee for sending another $50 super chat. It's definitely so appreciated, and it goes so far in helping out the channel. And again, guys, you guys add so much to the dialogue, so I really want to thank you. I'm definitely looking forward to your opinions on this. Hope you guys love this video, and I hope to see you guys soon. Akademiks must be talking to the man in the mirror.